At TeddyEd, we believe that children succeed best when teachers, when parents, when tutors, and the school work together.
Before a child can grow tall, their roots have to go deep. How a child learns to express themselves shapes everything. It shapes their confidence, their relationships, their future opportunities.
Sometimes people only see the tutoring part, but behind tutoring, there's often that confidence building.
Confidence is the curriculum beneath the curriculum. A teacher who feels seen tends to show up more present, more patient, more inspired, and that directly shapes the experience the child has in that classroom.
At TeddyEd, we believe that teacher recognition is not just about saying thank you, thank you,
Yes.
thank you. It's really about creating that culture, where teachers have the respect, the support, the encouragement they need from all education community stakeholders. I love you. And I feel like just pulling you into the TeddyEd team, because this is all we do. Hey everybody, welcome back to TeddyEd Inspires, where real education stories live. Today, it's a very different occasion because we have a very practical and a very inspiring conversation about children, their confidence level, especially as they learn English, and we're probably going to even delve into their academic growth. And today, our guest is Joy Onwuaroh. She's an inspirational speaker. She's the founder of Bright Roots Academy. She's also an online English tutor for kids, for students. Joy actually helps children master English, build their confidence, and shine academically. At TeddyEd, we believe that children succeed best when teachers, when parents, when tutors, and the school work together. And today's conversation will help us look at how students can become more confident learners and how the adults around them, whether it's you as a parent, you as a teacher, can better support that journey. And if you've ever seen any child or any student who knows the answer but is too shy to say it out loud, then you already understand why confidence is important and why it matters in learning. Joy, welcome to TeddyEd Inspires. We're so glad to have you here today. And can you tell us a little bit about yourself? What really inspired you to start Bright Roots Academy? What is it?
Okay, thank you so much for having me, Efe. Thank you so much. My name is Joy Onwuaroh. I'm an inspirational speaker, an educator, and the founder of Bright Roots Academy, an online tutoring platform that helps children grow in English language confidence, reading, writing, and overall academic strength. The inspiration came from a deep conviction that how a child learns to express themselves shapes everything. It shapes their confidence, their relationships, their future opportunities. I kept noticing bright, capable children who somehow along the way started to shrink. Maybe a teacher moved too fast while teaching them, or they felt embarrassed speaking up, or they were quietly comparing themselves to others. The parents see it happening, but they didn't know how to reach them. So the name Bright Roots was an intentional name. It simply means before a child can grow tall, their roots have to go deep. So we are not here to fix broken children. We are here to remind them of what's already in them and give them the tools to let it out. Thank you.
I really, really love that, Joy. And, I love it because sometimes people only see the tutoring part, but behind tutoring, there's often that confidence building, that encouragement, and that helping of the child. I actually see you doing this. What are some challenges that you think students face when they learn English?
Okay, I think the first one is fear. Fear of being wrong. Many children have been corrected in ways that made them feel embarrassed rather than guided. So they go quiet and stop trying. The second is a disconnect between school English and home English.
Mm.
Some children speak one type of English, at home and are expected to perform differently at school. And that's a real emotional load. Then the third one is passive learning. Children who can fill in worksheet blanks but struggle to construct an original sentence with confidence, because real mastery comes from active, expressive practice in
Mm.
a safe environment. So that's what I think.
I
Thank
really
you.
love that you talked about home. You talked about the disconnect. So, what do
Yes.
parents sometimes misunderstand about the process of learning English? You talked about, and I think I experienced that too, raising my first child. What we speak at home is different from the sort of accent that's spoken in the classroom. So what
Yes.
do parents sometimes misunderstand about that process?
Okay, most parents feel that accents means you know English. No, that is not it. You have to be real. Speak something that the child can understand, something that the child can easily write down and know that. It mustn't be a particular accent. You should be able to speak something that you can defend. So if at home you speak a particular type of English and at school they speak a particular accent, is going to affect the child, but that doesn't mean the child will not be able to learn English. So you have to try to balance it up. You speak the one, a little bit of that, the one they speak at school, you speak the one you speak at home, to balance it up so the child knows that, when you go out, you can also see this type and you'll be able to blend in wherever you are. Thank you.
That makes sense, Joy. Sometimes the child is not really being lazy. They're probably just stuck. And as you said, they are overwhelmed here and there and
Yes.
here, and sometimes they become afraid of making mistakes because there
Mm.
is that confusion. It's really important. Adults need to understand this challenge properly so they can support, especially parents, without having to apply that pressure on the child.
Yes.
So, how do you think confidence really affects the child's ability to read, to write, to speak, or perform academically? What changes, do you see? You made mention of a statement about fear. How do you help a child move from fear to being expressive? How do you build that confidence?
Okay. Okay, so I'll give like a story with one of my students. Okay, let's say confidence is the curriculum beneath the curriculum. Do you understand? So I
Mhm.
worked with a particular child. I'll call him Toby. I won't use his real name. I worked with a particular child. He was 7 and academically capable by every measure. But in our early sessions, he would whisper his answers and pause so long before speaking that I would wonder if he heard me. So his teacher in class had flagged him as somebody that disengages
Mm.
in class. He wasn't disengaged. He was afraid to speak up. So over about 8 weeks, we made it safe to be wrong, and we celebrated efforts during our class sessions, not just accuracy. So slowly that whisper became a voice. His mom later messaged me one day to say that his son had voluntarily answered a question in class, and the teacher was stunned that a boy that doesn't talk,
Hmm.
actually raised his hand to answer a question. So nothing about his intelligence changed. His confidence did change. And confidence, once unlocked, changes everything. How a
Hmm.
child reads loud, how a child reads aloud, how boldly they write, how clearly they speak, and how they show up academically across the board. It's only through a confidence that is unlocked. Thank you.
I love that. You said celebrating effort rather than looking at
Yes,
accuracy.
accurate.
That really caught it for me because, the child does not really lack intelligence, but they need to build that confidence to release what they already know.
Yes, exactly.
It beats my imagination because even myself, I experienced it. Many adults are still nervous speaking in meetings today. It's not like they don't
Exactly.
know what to say, you know. So we can imagine how children feel when they're asked to come in front of the class, the whole class, and read aloud, you know. So confidence
Yes.
is really powerful. When
Yes.
a child feels safe, when they feel safe enough to try, they become very brave enough to
And
learn.
confident.
You know, they become confident. I love that. I love that. And I
Yes.
feel like registering my child in your program, because I feel like you're not only teaching English, you're also teaching that bravery to learn, bravery to make an attempt,
Yes.
bravery to
And
try,
that's what we
you
do.
know. Beautiful,
Yes. Thank you.
beautiful, beautiful. So what practical habits can parents build at home to support their kids, their kids in English, or even in other areas, like their overall academic growth, especially for busy parents like myself?
Okay. Practical habits can be you start small. You start small with some things they can actually manage. Start small and stay consistent.
Mm,
You know, you throw in little vocabulary every day, pockets of language throughout the day, not a structured hour. You just playfully throw in a word. You read aloud together for 10 minutes.
mm,
Just for the joy of hearing fluent, impressive language, they get interested to learn. You know, they ask, then parents should ask open questions like, what's one thing that confused you today? Instead of, how was school?
mm,
That's speaking practice dressed as conversation. For writing, parents should encourage like 2 sentences a day in a journal. You journal about everything. Just write 2 sentences. It mustn't be a structured way of writing. The goal at first is the habit of putting thoughts into words, not grammar. And you read it in front of the children, you know. And again, the parents should also learn to read in front of the children. When the kids see you reading, they imitate what they see, not just what
mm,
they are told.
mm.
Thank you. Mm.
That's sitting so well. Like that's resonating. You know, learning at home does not always need to be that long, based on what you're saying. You
Yes.
start
Hmm.
small. Start small. A little bit here, a
Yes.
little bit there. Provide samples, provide examples. It's not so complicated. And sometimes it's
Exactly.
like consistency will beat that pressure down. You know, we do not want parents turning every dinner table though into a conversation on an English exam, you know. For
No.
parents, the goal is support, underlined, underscored. It's support, not panic, right? So this
Yes.
is
Yes.
it's a really helpful reminder, because many parents want to help, but they need
Mm.
those practical steps that
Exactly.
fit into real life. And I'm really grateful for those 3 steps, Joy. Start small, parents. Start small.
Yes.
Write
That's small, but be
examples.
consistent.
Be
Yes.
consistent, and they will follow you. You know,
Mm.
I just want to veer a little bit into something that we really love doing, and it is teacher recognition. It's a big part of the TeddyEd's mission. How does celebrating teachers really help better learning experience for students?
We teachers, we carry an enormous, often invisible weight. We show up every day, not just to deliver a curriculum, but to notice which child is struggling, which child is thriving,
Mm,
or which child needs a little extra encouragement that day. So that kind of attentiveness takes energy, and it's easy for it to go unseen. So when teachers feel celebrated, something shifts in the classroom. A teacher who feels valued has more capacity emotionally and creatively to pour into their students. So children are incredibly perceptive, yes. They pick up on a teacher's energy, their enthusiasm, their sense of purpose. A teacher who feels seen tends to show up more present, more patient, more inspired, and that directly shapes the experience a child has in that classroom. So recognition isn't just a nice gesture, it's an investment in the emotional climate that every child learns within.
I
Thank you.
love you. And I feel like just pulling you into the Teddy Air team, you know, because this is all we do. We want to continue to value teachers. We want to value the work that they do, because they are carrying a lot. A lot. They are
A
father
lot.
and mother to the kids. They have to deliver the lesson. They have to look at the curriculum. There's just a lot for teachers. And if we do not place value on the teachers, then guess what? The students get the impact. They do. So
Yes.
I have one more question around teacher recognition. Joy, do you think that there is a connection between teacher morale, how a teacher feels, their self motivation, and the student's confidence? Because we've been talking about confidence all this while, right? But do you see any connection between those two key terms?
Yes, there is. There is a connection. A teacher that is not happy, that is just forcing him or herself to teach, the child notices it immediately, and the child might not be interested in the class because the teacher just wants to come. Let me just do this thing as an obligation. Let me just do it and work out, just for the pay. And the child ends up not gaining anything. But a teacher that is celebrated, that is recognized, it boosts the teacher's morale to go more, to go far into what can I do to help this child? What area is he lagging behind? Let me do something. Let me find out. And you see, the child ends up gaining, gaining more input from the teacher and becomes more confident. Thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely. At TeddyEd, we believe that teacher recognition is not just about saying thank you, thank you, thank
Yes.
you, thank you. It's really about creating that culture, where teachers have the respect, the support, the encouragement they need from all education community stakeholders, including the students. And that's the only way that a teacher like yourself, Joy, will continue to show
Yes.
for students. That's
Yes.
the only way you continue to show up. I love your input right there. How
Thank
do
you.
you think parents, tutors, communities can, I know you said a lot about how they can appreciate teachers, but what are some simple ways you think that parents can make teachers feel supported? Now, moving away, and I'm really focusing on the parent. How do you think? Because in recent times, I've heard teachers feel abused by parents. I've heard teachers feel relegated by parents. So what are some simple ways, 1, 2 or so ways that parents can, make teachers feel really, really supported?
Okay, it often doesn't take much. It does not take much at all, but it has to be intentional because life moves very fast and appreciation can easily fall by the wayside. So for parents, something as simple as a specific note, not just thank you, but you can send the teacher a message and say, I noticed how patient you were with my child this week and it made a difference. It can mean more than people realize. Specificity tells a teacher you are paying attention, not just being polite. And for tutors and communities, it's about amplifying teachers' work publicly, sharing stories of teachers who have made an impact, creating space like this one where their voices are centered, not just the outcomes they produce. On a broader level, it's about shifting the narrative, moving away from only measuring teachers by test scores or outcomes and recognizing the relational, emotional work they do every day. That often shapes a child long after the lesson is over. So when that work is seen and named, it doesn't just honor the teacher, it strengthens the whole learning community. Thank you.
I just love you, Joy, because you just said something really key. Specificity. It has to be specific, not just a thank you note.
Specific.
Yeah, it
Yes.
has to be, you have to show as being a supportive parent because it will help not blaming the teacher for every missing pencil. We all know,
Exactly.
we all know the pencil cannot disappear mysteriously, but let's not just make the teacher carry every single mystery in the classroom. Parents,
Everybody.
you
Yes.
have a role to play. You do have a role to play. This is such a practical way to look at it. Specific. It's really dawning on me right now that just being specific on your patience, your perseverance, your goodness, your kindness. It helps the teacher want to do more, you know.
Yes.
Really glad about this. So, Joy, just before we close, what message
Okay.
would you give to a child who is struggling academically but wants to improve? What message would you give to any student struggling but they really want to do better?
Okay, so I have a mantra that I believe. I believe that learning is actually easy, but if you put your head to it, you'll be able to listen. As in, if you bring yourself down, there's something called humility. Some children feel they know why they don't know, you know. So, but if you bring your head down and say, I must learn this thing, those people that learned it are no more than me. We are all created by the same God. So if they can do it, I can do it. So each child that is struggling with this could just try to listen, learn. You will get it. You get it. There's no way you're not going to get it. It might take time. It might not be as fast as the other person is learning it, but if you keep on learning, you actually get it at the end. Thank you.
Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Now, Joy,
Yes.
a lot of people are going to be really now very curious about Bright Road Academy. Like, how do we find you? Where do we find you? What part of Nigeria are you based? I know you're online, but if somebody wanted to reach out to you personally, and I think that I'm going to be dropping your details in the description of this video, but I really just want to hear from you, like, how do we access you?
Okay, we actually have a Facebook page. We have a Facebook page. It's actually Bright Roots Academy. That's the name, at Bright Roots Academy. That's our Facebook page. We have a TikTok page, all at Bright Roots Academy. We are also on LinkedIn, but LinkedIn I use my personal name, which also encapsulates Bright Roots Academy as well. My name on LinkedIn is Joy Onwuaroh. So if you want to connect me, you can also send an email. I believe you're going to drop down the email at the description, but you can send an email to joycconsults@gmail.com. If you send an email there, you'll be able to reach me.
Well, Joy Onwuaroh, thank you so much for this practical and encouraging conversation. You have reminded us really that children do not just need instruction. They need confidence, they need patience, they need encouragement, and a strong support system around them at home and at school. So we believe students thrive when teachers, families, tutors, and schools work together. And today's conversation has given parents, educators, and communities very simple but powerful ways to help students grow. Thank you again for joining us on TeddyEd Inspires. I'm F, and this is TeddyEd Inspires, where real education stories live. Until next time, keep celebrating teachers, uplifting students, and strengthening schools. God bless you.